para el verano canadiense desde que hay registros, según certificó la Agencia de Meteorología del país. El primer ministro Justin Trudeau criticó los tweets de Donald Trump, el presidente de Estados Unidos, y diferenció la realidad migratoria en Canadá de la del país vecino. Camboya se ha convertido en el más reciente país asiático en rechazar los envíos de residuos enviados a sus costas por compañías occidentales para su procesamiento. Funcionarios de Camboya anunciaron que enviarán 1.600 toneladas de basura al lugar de donde provinieron, es decir, Estados Unidos y Canadá. ¿Te encanta escuchar tu música a un volumen altísimo en el centro de la ciudad? ¿Conduces un automóvil sin silenciador o lo has modificado para así rugir en serio el motor? ¿Disfrutas de ese fuerte brum brum de tu motor al acelerar? Bueno, este es el momento de repensar ese enfoque, ya que la policía de Toronto pronto irá detrás de los conductores ruidosos. La campaña de concientización y cumplimiento de ruidos innecesarios es una respuesta a numerosas quejas de los residentes en Yorkville y otras áreas. Se prevé que las infracciones por ruido oscilen entre $110 y $155 y entraría en efecto a partir del 1 de octubre. A solo 3 meses de la elección federal de Canadá, la percepción importa. Para muchos votantes parece que Doug Ford, Andrew Scheer y sus respectivas políticas son difíciles de separar. En una nueva encuesta publicada esta semana, alrededor del 60% de los encuestados dijo que el régimen de Ford les ha hecho menos propensos a votar por el gobierno conservador de Scheer en octubre. En las últimas cifras publicadas por los organizadores de la encuesta, Corporate Communications, la proporción de votantes que piensan lo mismo acerca de Ford y Scheer ha aumentado en un 6% desde el 54% registrado en junio de este año. No es de extrañar que el frustrado Mark Stroman haya eliminado a los Toronto Blue Jays de todititas sus cuentas de redes sociales. Al parecer, en el horizonte no se vislumbra que Stroman siga siendo un azulejo por mucho tiempo más. Stroman, como sabes, es uno de los mejores lanzadores de la liga y el lanzador número 1 de los azulejos en este momento. Ha ido escalonando en el equipo hasta convertirse en uno de los jugadores predilectos y uno de los lanzadores más completos de la MLB, pero hasta ahora no ha recibido ni un sí ni un no a quedarse con los Blue Jays, así es que los borró de sus cuentas sociales.
It's like the floodgates have opened and it's just nonstop.
What the hell happened here? It's not heroin that's killing our people. It's fentanyl, and it's changed the game.
Overdose is going to be for a female in her 20s, overdosing in the bathtub. She's not conscious.
The caller states that she has overdosed.
I don't know what to do. Stop talking for a moment.
I don't know what's happening to this generation. You know, I look out my window, you know, I'm looking at ground zero for the United States for fentanyl.
Bueno, pues ahí tenemos un caso más de sobredosis y cómo hace la comparación en lo que está sucediendo en Estados Unidos respecto a lo que pasa aquí en Canadá. Y hablando acerca de lo que pasa aquí en Canadá, bueno, yo tengo que agradecerle públicamente porque lo mismo he hecho una entrevista una llamada de último minuto para invitarla, que le he llamado para pedir cuando lo hemos necesitado y ella siempre ha estado dispuesta, siempre inteligente, siempre con muchas ganas de compartir con nosotros la comunidad latina hispano-canadiense. Para mí es un placer recibir el día de hoy a nuestra parlamentaria federal, Julie Cerovics. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien. Gracias.
I'm so happy for us to have you here, Julie.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so many of us, well, you know, like Julie has these strong ties to the Mexican, Latin American community, but maybe some others don't know why. Why is this?
Well, my mother's from Mexico, and so
Yay!
I always say she was one of the first Mexicans to actually come to Canada, and so I'm very proud. I say I'm a very proud Mexican-Canadian, but the other half of me is also Ukrainian, so I'm a very proud Mexican-Canadian, very proud Ukrainian-Canadian, also very proud Canadian.
And I am still in you, and I always say like this part of Mexican and Latin American background, but to be true, I have seen you working very, very hard at Davenport, and in many, many occasions I have seen you with different communities. Like if the Portuguese community organizes something, Julie's there, the Brazilian, like refugees, it could be young people. By the way, you're having a barbecue today.
We are. We're having a huge barbecue for all the students in the Davenport riding that are working on our riding and getting support from the government. It's called Canada Summer Jobs. I worked very hard, and we managed to get a tripling of funding and a tripling of the number of jobs for students in my riding, because they deserve it.
Pero por supuesto, I think like they are so energetic, no? Like we have new generations, and why not get involved? Like I won't say in politics, but in things that matter to the community.
For sure. For sure. So I'm looking forward to that. We have 150 people coming into my small office, so I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it, but we're going to have a good time.
Well, I'm sure of that. 150 personas y que van a estar ahí en su oficina, y eso solamente en un par de minutos. Así es que imagínense, una vez más, gracias, Julie, por eso. But I want to go back. And I know that I have asked you this in every single occasion that I have the chance to speak with you. How come such a gorgeous woman gets into politics? Because people tend to think that politics is kind of dark and you know.
Well, you know, I wanted to do this since I was very young, 10 years old. I don't know why. I remember watching TV, and I was watching some politicians, and I thought, I don't know why, but I want to do that. So I became very fascinated with politics from a very early age. I'm the daughter of 2 immigrants, so my mom's from Mexico, my father's from Eastern Europe. And, you know, they were working class, and they worked really hard. It's tough starting a new life in this country. But I always tell people that if you work hard and take advantage of the opportunities before you, you can achieve your dreams. It doesn't matter what your background is, it doesn't matter what your religion, how much money you have, who you know, because my parents didn't know anyone. We definitely didn't have money. We were working poor, but I had a dream, and so I wanted to pursue it, and I wanted to give back to a country that gave so much to my family.
And now, after this, and we're having elections in October. So, what are the plans for Julie?
Well, it's so funny because I was thinking about that question. I thought, oh, my plans are to win again on October 21st. I hope to win.
For sure.
You know, I've been I'm a young politician, so I've been in politics for 4 years. You actually get better. You really need to be in the system to understand how does it work. How is it that you can actually be effective? You had mentioned earlier that you see me at a lot of Portuguese or Brazilian or Latin American or Hispanic events. I do it very purposely. I feel like the Latin American and the Hispanic community, to be honest, hasn't had a strong voice at the national level. I don't feel that we've done enough to recognize the contributions of the Hispanic community in Canada at the national level, and I was determined to actually set that straight. So that's why I started Hispanic Day on the Hill. So now all the senators, all the parliamentarians now celebrate that every single year. We started with 80 people. We ended up last year with 800 people. Yeah, you know, so I'm very passionate. I'm also sit on a group called Parliamericas. I'm on the Canadian executive. I work a lot in Latin America around women's empowerment, particularly around women in politics. Hispanic women are very strong. They're very strong.
We are not in politics. Well, besides, maybe I am wrong, but besides the senator.
Yeah. Senator Rosa Galvez and Pablo Rodriguez.
Yes. But like talking about like women, I just think of you too.
I know. Can I tell you? My mother looks at me. She's like, I have no clue. I have no clue how it is that you're a politician, because we don't have anybody in the family. But you know, it's a calling for me. Yeah, but you know, women are powerful in terms of organizers and mobilizing and standing up for their rights and taking care of their families and trying to sort of, you know, make themselves better, make their families better, make their lives better. They're very strong. I find that to me, the strength in my heritage really comes from my Hispanic side, and I say that very genuinely. So. Anyways, it's an honor for me to have this position. It is a position that comes with a lot of power and a lot of responsibility. So, you know, one of the key things I work on right now, I just sent a note to our Prime Minister. I said to him, I'm very worried about the conditions at the U.S. border.
Of course.
You know, between Mexico and the U.S. And I said, how is it that we can be more helpful? How can we be more helpful for Mexico? How can we be more helpful for Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras. What more can we do? So for me, I'm always trying to champion. I'm always trying to see what is it that we need to highlight that many people aren't necessarily noticing here in Canada.
And I've seen that. Well, we just a couple of seconds ago we had that letter, and I always, you know, I like you, but in a very, very strong way. One day, once I was just changing the channel of the TV, and I found you. Right. I found you, and we had just like an earthquake in Mexico, and I saw you, and you were so strong, asking for help, and wow. And after that, because we hadn't talked about that, like at that time, and I saw you, so you are very present, and you make sure that your voice, our voices, are heard. And I would like to go to a video that I found this week, and it's like about what you were saying about what's going on at the southern border of the U.S. and Mexico.
Yes. It might have been sort of that, maybe I was doing in the context of the 75th anniversary between Canada and Mexico. I think I might have been doing that, but we'll see the video.
Okay. Sí, pero vamos a ver entonces ese video acerca de esa relación tan grande, porque hablábamos hace un momento, Julie y yo, con todos ustedes acerca de lo que está sucediendo en la frontera sur. Todos sabemos que Estados Unidos ha puesto mucho más énfasis en no dejar pasar indocumentados, en cómo las condiciones, sobre todo para los niños, para las mujeres, son complicadísimas. Pero también hablamos acerca de esa relación súper fuerte que tienen México y Canadá. Y bueno, para mí es un súper orgullo que ustedes compartan este video con nosotras.
The honorable member for Davenport.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to mark the 75th anniversary of Canada-Mexico bilateral relations. Relations between Canada and Mexico began as allies in World War II. Since then, Canada and Mexico have made major strides to increase trade and strengthen diplomatic relations, including the signing of the NAFTA agreement in 1994, and as well as the updated version, CUSMA, late last year. Canada and Mexico are each other's third largest trading partners, and we're working hard and creatively to increase our trade moving forward to our mutual benefit. In late 2016, our government lifted the visa requirement for Mexican visitors to Canada. This has increased the flow of travelers, ideas, and businesses between both countries. We also cooperate in the areas of environmental, indigenous, immigration, and bilateral security and defense. Canadá y México entienden la importancia de tener una relación productiva y respetuosa. Esperamos muchos años más de relaciones productivas entre nuestros dos países. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
¡Viva! ¡Hey! ¡Que viva México y Canadá! I feel so proud of you. And I saw you a couple of days ago. You received a recognition, an award.
Yes, I won an award from the a Lideres Award. I think it was from the Hispanic Council, the Hispanic Canadian Council, and it was around social and political leadership. And it was an honor for me to be able to receive that. Truth is, it's actually the recognition of all the unbelievable work that the Latin American and the Hispanic community has done. So for me, it was because of the passion that the community has and for their desire to actually keep their language and culture and traditions alive and to be recognized at the national level. And it's my honor to be able to help them do that.
No, es nuestro honor que tú seas parte de nosotros y que seas esa voz que se multiplica como si fuera eco. Ahora, it's your time because you have given us many, many gifts and we're thankful for that. Yeah. How can we help Julie?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. You know, it's funny, we're going into an election, and this morning, actually, I stood in for our Minister of Immigration at a citizenship ceremony. Okay. So there were 57 new Canadians, 28 different countries. And one of the first things I said to them is, please make sure you go out and vote at the election. We're one of the few countries in the entire world that still accepts refugees and new Canadians. Last year, we were the top country that accepted asylum seekers, the top in the whole world, not per capita, the top total. Yeah. That was Canada. And also we increased the number of immigrants to our country because we truly believe that we are a better country because of our diversity. And we truly believe that the more diversity we have, the more the different cultures, the different ideas that we have, the stronger our country and our economy. Again, it's not easy to start a new life in any new country, especially here, but I really think that's something to be cherished and something to celebrate. And so I really encourage people to make sure that they engage in the upcoming election. I am part of the federal Liberal team. I'm part of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's team. He very much is a passionate believer of multiculturalism. And to be honest, we're right now accepting about 340,000 new Canadians every year. I'd like to move us to 1 million, to be honest. I'd like to move us to 1 million, but you have to provide proper supports. People need to know where to live and how can they live affordably. They need to be able to learn English. They need to be able to help settle their families. We need to have enough. So we need to be able to, in saying that amount, I think we also have to make sure that we have an ability to be able to also provide the supports that they need. So that needs some planning, but the world needs it. The U.S. is starting to close their borders. A lot of European countries are closing their borders. People are fleeing their countries not because they have nothing better to do. They're fleeing their countries because of violence. They're fleeing their countries because of environmental issues, internal wars. They're being sabotaged, or your family's being blackmailed, or there's an attempt on their lives or their family's life. There's lots of different reasons, very, very valid reasons why people are leaving. And I truly believe that we should be open. We have so much richness in this country. And our economy's only grown so quickly because we have all these amazing immigrants that bring so much of their amazing talents, whether it's low-skilled, whether it's medium-skilled, or whether it's high-skilled. And I'll take them all because we need all of it. But again, we have to put the supports in place when we actually say, and then we have to make sure that we take care of a lot of the people that are already here and working for us. Because some of them have come in and have kind of got caught up in our system a little bit. So the federal government's trying to experiment a little bit right now on how do we help without delegitimizing our immigration system. How is it that we can help support maybe some non-status people who are in Canada, workers, but they're doing jobs we need them to do. They've been here for a while, they have families, they've been paying taxes. So we have a micropilot that's actually going on right now.
Construction workers,
Yes, so again, it's a pilot. We're trying to figure out how does it work, who's applying for it, how many people do we need to do. So we're doing something, we call it micropilot. It's really an experimentation to figure out, do we have the right process in place? And then I'm hoping that we'll actually expand it in a number of different areas.
Well, thank you, Julie. And as you know, I am going to be bothering you as soon as you know more about this program, because for sure our community would be really interested in getting advantage of this. No, we know that there are families who have been here for years and years, and they just want to be Canadians, truly Canadians.
I'm happy to be as helpful as I can.
Perfecto, muchísimas gracias, Julie. Bueno, vamos a poner ahí en la pantalla todos tus datos, porque si ustedes tienen, ese es el momento en donde se requiere esa participación civil, esa participación cívica, esa participación de nosotros, la comunidad. Hablábamos, Julie y yo, que solamente para mí hay 2 mujeres en este momento ocupando puestos de alto cargo de origen latino, hispano, canadiense, y bueno, pues yo creo que es el momento de que seamos más. Thank you so much.
Gracias a ustedes, gracias a todos.
Gracias,
Thank you.
Gracias, bonita tarde.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vamos con más happy moments.
Yes. Thank you.
Perfecto.
Vaya que se hace calor en Toronto este verano. ¿Cómo se antoja echarse un buen chapuzón? ¿Qué te parece si nos sumergimos en las aguas del acuario Ripley de Toronto? Además de las tradicionales exhibiciones que puedes admirar en uno de los 9 estanques, puedes disfrutar de las noches especiales como Paint Night. Las tortuguitas marinas, los tiburones y peces payaso pueden ser tus modelos. ¡Yay! También puedes dejar a un lado los pinceles silencio y bucear. Ok. Toronto no suele considerarse un epicentro para el buceo y los deportes acuáticos, pero hay una escuela en Toronto que podría cambiar esa percepción. Toronto Island Freediving es una escuela de buceo y una comunidad que ofrece lecciones, cursos, talleres para ayudarlo a que te enamores, por supuesto, del freediving o del buceo libre, que es un deporte extremo que tiene como base la suspensión voluntaria de la respiración. Aguanta la respiración dentro del agua mientras se recorren largas distancias o se desciende hasta grandes profundidades. ¡Yay! Y hablando acerca de actividades acuáticas, ¿hasta dónde llega tu amor por el agua? ¿Qué te parece si este verano te conviertes en una sirenita? Hay una empresa en Toronto que facilita colitas brillantes de sirena para hombres, mujeres y pequeños. Puedes tomar todo un curso completo o solamente, pues sí, disfrutar en carne propia lo que siente Ariel, la sirenita. ¡Yay! Bueno, otra de las opciones es nadar en estos días cálidos en Sunnyside Pavilion. Como se ha venido haciendo por los últimos 100 años, tú puedes zambullirte en lo que se conoce también como The Tank. Está en Lakeshore Boulevard West. ¡Yay! También puedes, ¿por qué no?, echarte un clavado a una de las albercas públicas que abrirán este verano hasta las 11 de la noche para nadar, viendo las estrellas y disfrutando de un buen momento. ¡Yay! Cuando pienses en los animales más canadienses, probablemente pienses en castores, alces, mapaches y, por supuesto, en osos polares. Si te estás preguntando dónde ver a los osos polares en Canadá sin correr ningún peligro, entonces dirige tus pasos hacia Manitoba. Churchill, Manitoba es famosísima por su población de osos polares, pero cuando los osos polares son huérfanos y necesitan ser rescatados, se mudan a un increíble zoológico y centro de rescate en Winnipeg. El zoológico de Asins Point Park te invita a una exhibición de Journey to Churchill, donde puedes acercarte a los osos polares y apoyar los esfuerzos de rescate de 9 osos polares huérfanos que en este momento están viviendo ahí en ese centro de rescate. ¡Happy Moments!